going on, everybody? I hope you guys are doing well. My name is Barba and we are back with another build video. So today we're going to be talking about the Magic Templar build that I've been running lately, and show you exactly what I'm using and different options if you don't like what I'm running in specific. So as always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you think down below. Alright, so we're going to start with the character screen. So we have 24,000 magic, 31,000 health, 3,700 spell damage until we buff up. If I could find something to buff up on. Perfect. 4,400 spell damage, and we have about 20-something% crit. If I can hit something real quick. I can't hit that antelope, but 20-something% crit. 6,000 pen before we have any of our major breach. And in terms of resistances, we are at 25, 24, so not bad, but we have a ton of healing. And then we have 1,400 magic recovery plus what we get from our rune on the ground and what we get from a potion. So we get a lot of recovery, up to almost 2,000, I think. So fantastic. And then 1,800 crit resist before we get a proc to bump that up. So I have 14 into magic, 50 into health. And then we're an orc, so we get extra movement speed, extra damage, so it's really nice. We're using Witch Mothers, and then we have the Atronach Mundus Stone, change it how you see fit, and we are a stage 3 vampire on this build, which I haven't been running a lot, but now I am running it again on my Templar because I think it's really good on Templar. So yeah. Alright, so in terms of the gear, it's very simple. It's a pretty easy set to set up here. So we are using mechanical acuity on the front bar. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, it's really good. If you don't know what it does, it gives stamina, magic, and then more weapon and spell damage. And then when you deal non-crit damage, you're going to gain a stack of mechanical acuity for 4 seconds, granting you 20% crit chance per stack up to once every 1 second, stacking up to 5 times upon reaching max stats or after the effect ends. This cannot occur again for 25 seconds. Okay, so it has a pretty long cooldown of 25 seconds, but it's not that bad. So you can basically get a ton of crit chance for up to about 20 seconds. So if it goes well, so basically every time you deal non-crit damage, okay, you gain a stack. So you'll get 20, we have 24% or something like that crit, plus 20% you're at 44, and then when you do non-crit again, you're at 64, and then if you do non-crit again, you're at 84, and then if you do a non-crit again, you're over 100, okay, so you can do a ton of damage with this. You can completely just burst people from 100 to 0 once you get your mechanical acuity going. But the nice thing about mechanical acuity, you kind of can just play the game. I really like sets where you don't have to play around it. Now you can, if you're playing in a 1v1, you can completely plan your ultimate and your burst around the mechanical acuity, but you can just play and fight. So it's really good, but I like mechanical acuity. There's other sets that you could use, like Order's Wrath and Way of the Fire, and there's a couple other ones that are really good as well, but I'm liking this right now, and I'm using an Inferno Staff with Sharpened on it. So yeah, I really like the Flame Staff as well for the dot that you get on the heavy attack, and then it makes your Vampire's Bane do more damage. It makes a lot of your, makes your Radiant Destruction do more damage. So yeah, I like it a lot. On the back bar, we have Rallying Cry. Now, I'm using an Ice Staff. I have completely finally made the switch from Resto Staff to Ice Staff. Ice Staff has, I think it offers a little bit more. 1, you can block with magic, which is amazing. 2, you can heavy attack to get a big shield, and I just feel tankier with Ice Staff. I just feel safer. I don't know what it is. But if you don't know what Rallying Cry does, well, number 1, you're going to need a Berserker Glyph, and number 2, Infuse is okay, but you really want defending on this. I'm probably going to transmute it, but yeah. But Rallying Cry gives crit, magic, crit, and then while Battle Spirit is active, so anytime you're in a PvP area, whenever you get critically healed, you and 11 group members within 12 meters gain spell damage and then crit resistance. So each group member affected reduces your weapon and spell damage and crit resist by 80, and it has pretty much 100% uptime. So yeah, it's really good. It literally has no downtime if you just keep healing. So it's amazing and easy to proc on Templar, and it's just one of the better sets in the whole game. It's one of the best back bar that gives offensive and defensive and his light armor. So absolutely fantastic. Balorg's our monster set. And the reason I'm using Balorg is because we're running a ranged Templar this time with Meteor as our big burst damage. So Balorg makes Meteor absolutely amazing. And Templar is one of the only classes where you can make your Meteor undodgeable or unblockable, so to speak. So you can just throw a javelin at them and their Meteor will automatically land with the Balorg proc. So yeah, you can do some big damage. And we have Mechanical Acuity here again. Then we have Balorg, and then we have a light piece of trainee on the waist to get the 511. And then we have another piece of Rallying Cry, and then Mechanical Acuity again. You want reinforce on the big pieces. Unfortunately, I have stupid divines, but it is what it is. So I would definitely transmute, because then that means I'm missing out on about, I don't know, 306, about 1,000 armor, give or take. So it's not the biggest deal, but it definitely matters. And then our mythic is Sea Serpent's Coil. Now, if you don't like Sea Serpents, feel free to just use Mark and Ring of Majesty instead. I mean, it's really not that much different. Their drawbacks, I'm going to tell you right now, Sea Serpent's going to make you do a ridiculous amount of damage. Yes, you get snared, but on this build, the way I set it up, it doesn't really matter that much. Number one reason is because you're kind of standing your ground anyways on this build because you're a ranged Templar. So you kind of sit in your rune and you just heal and try to outburst people from afar, which is really cool. And then if you don't, we're not using Race Against Time, we're using a teleport, so the slow doesn't really matter because we get to just dash anyways, meaning we don't have to run there, so being snared doesn't make that big of a deal. And then we have Rallying Cry for the 2 rings. You probably want Bloodthirsty. I don't mind the Protective here because it actually kind of helps me. It's 1,200 armor. I mean, it makes a difference for sure. But these two, you kind of want Bloodthirsty or Infused. So that is the gear. Again, like you want Reinforce on the big boy pieces, so chest, legs, and maybe feet. But other than that, it's not that big of a deal. Maybe the helmet as well. But yeah, I mean, this is what I'm running. I really like the gear. If you don't like it, another front bar piece you could run is Shattered Fate. Now, the problem with Shattered Fate, you get nothing but pen. I mean, granted, listen, 8,000 pen is 8,000 pen, right? Like, there's nothing to complain about when it comes to that. But I mean, 8,000 pen is great, but you get nothing else for it. With this, you get more weapon and spell damage. You get a nice little proc to go off of. You get some stats as well, which is really nice. So, yeah. And if you don't like Rallying Cry, which I don't know why you wouldn't, because it's amazing, you could go with a different kind of set, like Kin Marcher's Cruelty, where you can kind of proc some cool stuff on the enemy, where you can do more damage to them, or they do less damage to you. Or you can proc even something cool like Snake in the Stars, where you're kind of doing more damage. Yes, you're going to be less tanky, but yeah. So that's what I'm running in terms of gear. Let me know what you think. Alright, so skills. We're using Reflective Light instead of Mage Light this time. Now, there's a couple of reasons. Alright, number one, it's going to give me more ult. Okay, so that's really, really nice. Yeah, I know I have it as my spammable and all, but it gives me more ult. I mean, I don't know. I really like Reflective Light because it gives me a lot more damage. I mean, Mage Light is nice because you get a little bit more magic, but this is giving an absurd amount of damage that you'd be missing out on. Just put it this way. When I'm buffed up, so if I can get it, there we go. So when I'm buffed up, I mean, it's doing 4,000 damage to 3 people. So that's 12,000 damage right there, plus 12,000 damage over time. So that's another 36,000 damage. So you add those two together, 36 plus 12. Okay, you're at 48,000 damage per cast. Okay, 48 total thousand damage per cast. Plus, you slow people by 40% for 5 seconds, which is really, really good. And then on top of it, you're getting the crit bonus anyways. So you're getting a slow, you're getting a ton of dot damage. And then if they're a vampire, they're going to take even more damage because we're doing flame damage. So it's really nice for that. And then we get the crit bonus. So it's really, really nice. I like this skill. I used to not use it, and then I realized that I should be using it. So here I am using it. Also, we get 5% more damage with our Dark Flare because it's a class ability. Aurora Javelin is our CC. It ignores armor and can't be blocked, which is amazing. It's also a knockback because we're ranged Templar, so keeping people away from you is nice. And you also do more damage with it, up to 40% more when you are further away. So this is what we use to set up our combo. You can hit people. If you can land, you do Meteor, and then you throw a Javelin into a Dark Flare, into a Radiant Destruction, and you kind of just destroy people. It's really good. Here we're using Susceptibility, so I mean, you're just applying Major Breach and some status effects. Radiant Glory is absolutely amazing. You can use Radiant Destruction, whatever, but I like this one because you're not losing that much damage. You lose like 20%, and then you're going to kill people anyways. Plus, you get 480 per tick, which is freaking awesome, and then you get health. So you heal for the damage inflicted as well, which makes you even more tanky, which is really awesome as well. And then Dark Flare, which is your spammable. It does a lot of damage. I mean, that's just the only way to put it. It's a really good skill. If I can find something to buff off of, cool. It does 8,300 plus another 5% because it's going to do more once you hit something with your class ability, right? So now it's doing 8,700 before we have like Battle Org or anything like that, or Rallying Cry. So it's really good. It does a lot of damage. Also on top of it, it afflicts the enemies with major defile, reducing their healing, receive, and their damage, shield, strength. And it's an AoE, and it's 8 meters. And 8 meters is actually pretty big, so you can just poke people from afar. And then you have Ice Comet, which is amazing. So like I said, the combo is really to hit them with Reflective Light to get your crit, hit them with Dark Flare, drop a Comet, hit them with a Javelin, and then get ready to Radiant Destruction them to death. Ice Comet just does a crap ton of damage, so it's, yeah. Here we're using Channeled Focus, which gives us our physical and spell resistance, plus you are getting 480 recovery. Yes. So we have 1357 plus 480, so we're at over 800 or 1800 recovery before a potion. On top of it, you're getting healed for 630 every second. And then if you're standing within the rune, you're healing for 200% more. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Now, I just want to note, if you are scribing, you might want to use the spammable, the Striking Soul one here, and then use, you can just put Major Defile on it, I think, and then you can also put the Templar, the class scribe thing on it too, which is just a better spammable than this. I just don't have the DLC, but I just want you guys to know that I'm aware, I'm not an idiot. Okay, that skill is better, I'm not stupid, because you can even make that skill apply Major Breach and then free up another slot. I get it. All right, if you're better off doing that, that's going to give you more. But this is what I have. I don't have the DLC, so please don't come at me in the comments. It is what it is. All right, but here, yeah, we got that, and then we're using Degeneration for our major sorcery and brutality. It's really good. I mean, you could use potions if you want for your sorcery. You're just gonna have some downtime, but I like this because it's a dot and it does a decent amount of damage. Like, it's not like it's a bad skill. Here we have Inner Light. It's really good. It heals for a crap ton. It heals for well over 11k. Healing somebody under 75% health also restores some of the costs. So you're actually getting, what, 40-something percent, 50-something percent of the ability back every time you cast somebody that's low. So it's actually a lot cheaper than it looks. It's more like a little bit under 3,000 costs when you heal someone that's low. Here you're using a big cleanse, one of the best cleanses in the game, besides maybe like Betty Netch, but this one's amazing because you cleanse 5 things, and you're healing your teammates for 2,600 every 2 seconds for 30 seconds, and your teammates can activate a synergy. So you really are kind of a support build on top of being a big damage dealer from range. You can debuff, you have CC, you have AoE damage, you have heals, you have movement, you have everything. So it's really good. And then last we have Elusive Mist. Now, like I said, I haven't seen many people using Elusive Mist anymore, but I just realized that it's actually insane. They changed Elusive Mist to make it even better. So you disperse. So it's like a sorcerer dash like that, okay, which is really nice because not only does it let you dash, but you also absorb 3 projectiles, which is really good. You also gain Major Expedition and Major Evasion, which is freaking crazy. So not only do you get a dash, right, you get 30% movement speed, okay, for 4 seconds, and on top of it, you take 20% less damage from AoE stuff. I mean, come on, that's really good. Like, you're getting 3 buffs all in one. Did I really just do that? Okay. You're getting 3 buffs, like 3 beautiful things all in one skill here. So it's really good. And then last, we're using Practice Incantation. Now, I'm using this because I'm not using Restive Staff anymore, so I need something to use on the back bar, and I like it. I mean, it's not bad at all. You can move around while you use this one. So it heals for 8,500 a second for 7 seconds. So you're getting really a lot of healing. You also can't be CC'd while you're using this, which is really awesome as well. And you just do a ton of healing to your team around you. To you and all nearby allies. And the radius is 20 meters, which is like you to pretty much that merchant right there. So that's a lot of area. I like it. I mean, I'm not saying it's amazing, but you can move and jump around and stuff while you use it. I just picked up bananas. Ooh. But, yeah, it's really good. Now, again, I just want to reiterate, like, I know that the striking soul move that everyone uses in scribing as a spammable is better. Okay, I don't want you guys to think I'm not stupid. Okay, I promise. But I don't have it. And if I do get it, then yes, I will use it. I promise. But until then, I don't have it. So I'm using Dark Flare. If you don't like it, you can use Crushing Shock or, Force Pulse or whatever. But this is what I'm using. And, again, I'm sorry I don't have it, but this is what I got. So, yeah. Alright, so CP. I'm using Master at Arms, Ironclad, Duelist Rebuff, and Untamed Aggression. Now, I know they're not the best things ever, but that's just what I'm using right now. And Pain's Refuge, Sustained by Suffering for more recovery. I'm using a Juggernaut. I'm using Fortified now. I mean, that's just what I'm running. Again, if you don't like it, you can gladly change out the CP because I'm not the biggest CP guy. I like playing CP sometimes, but I'm more of a BG guy. So, again, I understand if you think it's trash, use what you like to use. If you don't know CP, then look up CP online because it's everywhere online. But that's what I'm using, and let me know what you guys think down below. I thank you for the time for watching this. I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will do my best to add some timestamps in here for the gear and whatnot. But peace out, guys. Have a good one. See you later.